Trump Talks movies, Captain America Civil War. Hello, America. It's me again, ever popular President Donald J. Trump. Today, I watched Captain America Civil War. You know, I could have been Captain America. I have a lot in common with Captain America. We both have amazing blonde hair. We're both in excellent physical condition. Actually, I think I'm in better shape than Captain America. The movie starts, it's 1991, and we're somewhere cold, and there's some kind of bunker. We go inside, and there's some Russians torturing a guy that needs a haircut. He seems very upset. Next haircut guy is biking on a road, and he makes a car crash. He steals something from the trunk. I think it's a new flavor of Capri Sun. In the present, we're in Lagos, which I had to read. I think it's in Africa. Captain America is there with a team, wavy hands girl, a black guy with wings called Falcon, and Black Widow. She's very attractive. I think she'd make a good wife. Why is a white lady called Black Widow, but Black Falcon guy isn't called Black Falcon? They fight some terrorists, and Captain America beats up an ugly guy with knife hands. Ugly guy blows himself up, but wavy hands girl throws him in the air with her wavy hands. But it blows up a building and kills some civilians, but they're not American civilians, so it doesn't matter as much. In America, Tony Stark is giving a speech, and he gives some students free money, which is dumb. He's a lot like Elon, except Elon has no charisma and worse cars. Backstage, an angry woman blames Tony Lawn for her son's death. Very unfair. At Avengers HQ, Captain America is watching the news, and King Chaka Khan is talking about Wakandans who died in the explosion. I've done a lot for Wakanda, maybe more than anyone. Cap goes to see wavy hands, and she's sad about accidentally murdering people. A guy that looks like a vibrator dressed like a school teacher comes in and says a government guy has shown up. The government guy tells everyone that the UN wants to be in charge of the Avengers. Tony Lawn wants to agree to it, but Captain America, he's very unpatriotic and doesn't want to. If I was president in that movie, he would have said, yes, sir, cause, like I said before, we have a lot in common. Next, we're at a house that looks like a poor person lives in it. A German guy is hanging a Russian guy upside down over a sink of water. I do the same thing to JD if he tries to give me Pepsi instead of Coke. German guy finds some important papers inside a wall. I keep mine in a shoebox in the back of my closet, and he lets Russian guy drown. Back at Avengers HQ, they're still arguing about the UN being in charge, and Captain America leaves to go to a funeral. I've been told funerals are very sad. At the UN meeting, Black Widow meets King Chaka Khan and his son, Charlie, and they schmooze. The meeting starts, and the king is giving a speech, but a bomb goes off and kills him. Very rude to interrupt him while he's talking. Everybody is upset, and Charlie is very angry. Maybe I could be king of Wakanda now, or Wakanda could become the 51st state. Meanwhile, Captain America and his sort of girlfriend are flirting when they hear about the bombing. They watch the news, and they're blaming Cap's friend, Bucky Haircut Guy, from the start of the movie. Captain America and Falcon go to Romania to find Bucky, but the police show up and get beaten up, but they're German police, so who cares? There is roof jumping, and a guy dressed like a black cat shows up and joins in. He's very good at the flips and the jumping. Some running and car chasing happens, and Black Iron Man shows up to arrest everyone. Black Cat Guy takes his mask off and turns out to be Prince Charlie. I didn't see that coming. I don't think anyone did. Back at Avengers HQ, Vibrator Teacher and Wavy Hands. They're actually called Vision and Wanda, so I was close. They're cooking and talking. I gotta be honest, all the talking made me sleepy, so I snoozed for a couple of minutes. In Berlin, I had to read again. A lot of reading in this movie. We're at a fancy building, a lot of screens inside for watching TV, so you know it's important. Bucky is in a glass box like David Blaine, and they take him to the basement. Tony Elon is trying to convince Captain America to sign up again, and it almost works, but then he finds out Wanda's under house arrest. We also find out she's an illegal immigrant. Why don't they just deport her? Cap gets angry and leaves. In the basement, the German guy from earlier, I think his name's Nemo like the fish. He's pretending to be a doctor, and he's talking to Bucky, and the power goes out. Nemo talks in Russian. I don't know what it means. I'm not reading subtitles. Bucky gets angry and has a tantrum and starts punching off the door, but when he gets out, he calms down. I would have done it with one hit, and I don't have a metal arm. Nemo wants to know what happened in December 1991. I made a really good deal that December. Captain America and Black Falcon go down to the basement, and Bucky beats them up easily while Nemo runs away. Bucky goes through the building fighting everyone. Tony Elon tries to fight him and gets beaten almost as badly as regular Elon would. Charlie joins in, and he's just as good at the kicking as he is at the flips and jumping. He's so good, Bucky hides and runs away. Bucky goes up to the roof and tries to steal a helicopter, but Captain America holds it down. I've been told I'm so strong I could hold down a helicopter, but from the inside, Bucky tries to murder Cap with the helicopter, but he misses like a loser. Cap pushes it off the side of the building, and they fall in the water. I could have done it much easier, and I wouldn't have fallen in the water. Cap swims away with Bucky, who's knocked out like a wuss. Next, Nemo is at an airport. How did he get there so fast? And his wife is nagging him on the phone. Melania tries to do the same thing to me, but I make JD take the calls. Nemo flies to Russia. Bucky wakes up, and he's in a very dirty building. Maybe poor people live there, and his metal arm is trapped in some kind of machine, maybe a vice or clamp. I don't know, poor people machines. He tells Cap and Black Falcon that there are more Winter Soldiers like him in Siberia. Very unfair to not have soldiers for every season. I would never discriminate against the other seasons. Back at the government building, a government guy is giving Tony Lon a talking to and tells him he has 36 hours to arrest Captain America. Tony Lon and Black Widow both know a guy that can help. Different guys, not the same one. In Queens, again, more reading. Tony Lon recruits a little boy to help him, just like regular Elon. Back at Avengers HQ, there's an explosion outside, and Vision goes out to have a look, and another guy comes in. I think his name is Hawkeye. He has a bow and arrows. Not very useful. He's there to take Wanda to Germany. Good, let him take her. Another illegal out of the country. Vision comes back in through the wall like a spooky ghost, and Hawkeye tries to fight him, but he hits with the strength of a small child, and Vision beats him easily. Wanda uses her wavy hands to drop Vision through several floors, leaving him in a deep hole with his feelings of rejection. In Germany, Black Widow recruits Charlie. Why did it take her so long to walk down the stairs? Tony Lon had time to fly back to America in the time it took her to exit the building. Also in Germany, Cap meets up with his sort of girlfriend so she can give him and Black Falcon back their stuff. They go to the airport and meet up with Hawkeye, Wanda, and Paul Rudd, who doesn't look as young as everybody says. I think I look younger. Cap goes outside, and Tony Lon is there with Black Iron Man, Black Cat, Charlie, and Black Widow. A lot of black people. Spider-Man shows up and shoots white goo at Captain America. Cap tries to convince them to let him go to Siberia. Meanwhile, Black Falcon finds the Avengers plane so they can steal it. Fighting starts, there's explosions and zapping. Paul Rudd is tiny and really big. Spider-Man swings around. He's very good at fighting for a little boy. Hawkeye and Charlie fight, and Hawkeye tries to introduce himself, but Charlie says he doesn't care. Very mean. Just because you're fighting doesn't mean you have to hurt people's feelings. Captain America and Bucky try to get to the Avengers plane, and Vision shoots a laser from his purple head and brings down a control tower to squish them. They get through, but for a second there I was really nervous. Black Widow is waiting for them, but she switches sides and zaps Charlie instead. Very sneaky. Cap and Bucky fly away. Black Iron Man chases after them, and Black Falcon chases after him. Black Iron Man tells Vision to shoot down Black Falcon, but Vision misses and hits Black Iron Man instead. He says it was an accident. I think he did it on purpose. Black Iron Man hits the ground, and he's knocked out and paralyzed like a loser. Black Falcon says he's sorry, I don't know what that means, and Tony Lon shoots him. Later on, Black Widow has to go on the run 'cause Charlie snitched on her, and Tony Lon finds out Nemo wasn't a real doctor. Then Tony Lon is flying in his cool helicopter. I want one, and he finds out Nemo also pretended to be Bucky, and he's the one who blew up Chaka Khan. In Siberia, Nemo is at the bunker from the start of the movie. It's a lot bigger on the inside, and he finds some boxes and frozen people. Back with Tony Lon, he's at an underwater prison called the Raft, which is a stupid name because rafts aren't supposed to go underwater. Hawkeye, Wanda, Black Falcon, and Paul Rudd are locked up. Hawkeye and Tony Lon have a competition over who can make the snarkiest comment. Tony Lon talks to Black Falcon, who tells him where to find Captain America. He leaves in his fancy helicopter. Turns out it comes with a free Iron Man suit. Now I really want one. Pretty please, can I have one, Melania? Maybe Marvel will let me have that one. He flies away and Charlie follows him in his own plane, which is pretty cool, but not as good as a free Iron Man suit. Captain America and Bucky arrive in Siberia and snoop around. The frozen people have been shot in the head. Tony Lon shows up and says they're all friends again. Yay. Nemo appears behind a big door and gives a villain speech about destroying the Avengers. Charlie is sneaking around in the background. Nemo shows them a video, and it's the car crash Bucky caused at the start of the movie. We find out Bucky killed Tony Lon's parents. Mind blown. We also find out Captain America knew, and Tony Lon punches him in the face. I would too. He then starts trying to murder Bucky, which is only fair. They all start fighting, and Bucky tries to run away like a loser, but Tony Lon won't let him. Bucky tries to fight back, and his metal arm gets blasted off. Earlier in the movie, he was beating everyone, and now he's fighting like a wuss. Outside, Nemo tells Charlie that his family is dead cause of the Avengers and tries to shoot himself, but Charlie won't let him. Very rude and unfair. Cap and Tony Lon fight some more, and it looks like Tony Lon is going to win until Cap says, "I can do this all day," and gets a +3 to endurance. Cap wins, and him and Bucky leave, but he leaves his shield behind like a moron. He could have sold it to a nerd. Wrapping up the movie, Nemo is in a glass box being threatened, but it's not very threatening cause the guy doing it looks like a hobbit. At Avengers HQ, Tony Lon is given Black Iron Man some fancy pants so he cannot be paralyzed. Captain America sends Tony Lon a letter and a phone. Why? He's rich. He probably already has lots of phones. Cap visits his friends in prison. I like some of this movie, but I had to read some stuff, which I didn't like. Very disappointing. Captain America is a criminal. Maybe we don't have as much in common as I thought. I give this movie 3 out of 5 puckered mouth and uses.